This is Phil Stamper, the president of wrestling, and you're watching the 3 Count Podcast. And always remember to trust in Phil.
Hit him with a 3 count. Pin him to the ground and the crowd go wild, man down, know what y'all like. Hit him with a 3 count. On the top rope.
Apparently, we're still having technical difficulties.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it still says we're starting soon. Oh, look at that. We don't even have anything. Hold on. There we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, it's been an episode already. We have already started this way behind course.
Oh my gosh! All right,
we definitely did say 5:30, and then we had all sorts of technical difficulties, and we just did not get this started on the right foot.
no. We're not listening, folks. We are not prepared to give you a show. All right, I just want to put it full transparency. We are not prepared. Okay, but we're here. Cliff is beat up. I am mentally beat up.
Oh man!
But hey, we're here. Let's get to this. Let's get to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, your nephew, your cousin, the Don Chaz Evans. I'm the host of the 3 Count Podcast Debate Show, and here he's going one-on-one with me and this debate show. He is the man that runs the 3 Count Podcast because, quite frankly, I really don't do anything. All right, he's the landlord of the Dog Pound. You see him rocking a Voltage wrestling T-shirt. He was definitely there this past Friday, so shout out to Voltage. But ladies and gentlemen, he's the landlord of the Red Dog. He is landlord of the Red Dog. See, look at that already.
Yo, man.
Can't even get my own shtick out.
Yo, it is the Air Force Veteran Intel Specialist, the one you call on when you need to get the job done, and your friendly neighborhood Red Dog. And yeah, I am definitely beat up, man. But I definitely want to throw a big shout out. Actually, I want to throw a couple shout outs out, right? So Summit Wrestling Association, SWA. Let's throw out some love to Voltage as well as Asylum. I got to debut at all 3 of those places in the last couple weeks, and so it's definitely been really cool to be attached to those guys. So thanks to I'm not gonna put their names out there. I'm just gonna say shout out to those people that hit me up and want to book me for their shows, because it's definitely been a lot of fun. But yeah, a lot of driving. The last couple of days. Not even gonna front, like I did go on a 3-hour round trip and then a 6-hour round trip back-to-back days. It's no bueno, no fun.
Well, yeah, better you than me.
Hey yo, actually, you know what? Let me pick this bone too. You know what I can't stand? Like we're gonna talk about this right now. We're gonna grind this right now.
We didn't even get to the announcements.
No, not yet.
We're not even fully into the show. Okay, well, alrighty then.
We have the announcements after we talk. Hey yo, if you are a passenger in the car, okay, it is late at night when we get out of these shows. Like we talking like 11, 12. If you're a passenger in the car, don't go to sleep. Okay, because the driver needs someone to fucking talk to. Yo, it's like 3:00 in the morning, right? I'm coming home, and like everybody in the car is passed out. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm like driving past, and I'm about to pass out too, and all of a sudden my phone rings because I get a phone call from a certain person. Preferably one of our trainer, and he was like, hey, I might need a ride. And I was like, why do you need a ride? And he's like, we just got pulled over, and the driver might be getting arrested.
What?
I was like,
whoa, okay. Wow, we can't
drop names, but we'll talk about it.
You're right, I know we can't.
And I won't talk about who slept in the car. They know. If they pay attention to the show, they know it was them. I was like, it's happened on numerous trips. Like, I know, like, if I go somewhere like PWX, right? Shout outs to Pro Wrestling Express. but I know it's a 3-hour drive. So I'm gonna stay up with the driver because I want him to know, like, hey, like, if you're falling asleep, just have a conversation, throw words out there. I'm paying attention, and I'll talk to you, right, the whole time. And I've had a couple people who like were sitting in the backseat and like knew like I was driving. They were having conversations with me too. But like, yeah, when we take those long ass drives, those 4 or 5 hour drives, man, don't be that guy. I will kick you out my passenger seat, make you sit in the back.
I will admit that I've definitely been that dude to you. I've definitely knocked cold out. Where were we coming back from? Where were we coming from? SCWA. Yes, that's where we were coming from. SCWA, yes. Or I like we weren't even like far before I just went.
everybody to me right now, like there's only actually I'm gonna be honest. Anybody who sat in the passenger seat with me while we driving back from like whether it's IWA, SCWA, Voltage, or even even Asylum, right? Every one of you people have turned into Lightning McQueen. Every one of them, man. Every one of them. Just like I'll stay up with you the whole. Yo, and I'm like, hey man, like this is so foul on so many levels. I can't chill in the back and go to sleep.
Oh my
god. No way, because you know what? It's not exclusive to wrestlers. You all should just know better. Hey, yo, family do the same thing too.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, that's true. I've definitely driven back from from New York by myself at like 12. Me.
Oh yeah, it's definitely happened. I've had a lot of people who were just like it's definitely appreciated whenever I'm like driving. I hear people talking to me because I'm like, hey, like we have a full conversation.
I'll be trying. The last SCWA ride, I was good. I did. I managed to stay up the entire time, and then I think we all did. Actually, I think we all. If I'm not mistaken, I think we all did for the most part.
Well, to be fair, like I mean, it's fun when you're like when everybody's up and talking and having a conversation. It makes trips go by so fast. Like,
that's true.
Whenever we leave from like Baltimore and we go to like let's start out there, right? SCWA. When we go to SCWA, that 4-hour trip doesn't feel like a 4-hour trip.
It's always. I've always said the trip going is always better than the trip going back.
Yeah, because when we come back, it's like we all just like stop, we grab something to eat, and then we start driving, and then it feels like a 3-hour, 4-hour trip turns into like it's a 6 to 8 hour. I feel like I'm at work. Like
Yeah.
That's also why I'm wearing glasses today instead of wearing my contacts, because I was like, bruh, this drive last night. Yo, actually, I'll put it out there too, right? So I stop at our trainer's place, right? And I go to pick up our trainer to go to Asylum, and you get asked, I didn't know you wore glasses. Yeah, actually, I've been up since 2:00 in the morning. I didn't get to sleep till 3:00. And I had to get up at 9 to get ready for all of this, to make this next drive. All I hear is, you better make sure that you stay awake. Damn. And then that person was like, hey, I'm going to go ride with this person to back to the house. I was like, okay, cool. You know, I have conversations with the other 2 passengers in my car. Nah, they both passed out.
Terrible. Just terrible. All righty. So I know everyone's always down to hear road stories, but this is not what this is for. That's another podcast. If you want to hear that, go check out the 3 Count Podcast Road Stories episodes. That's coming out in like fall of 2025.
That should definitely.
Oh man, no, we're not gonna do this. That's something else for you to edit.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Since we're putting it all out there today on the show. No.
Anybody want to know what I did today? Let me tell you. I edited 7 episodes for Now Entering the Ring. Not to mention that I fixed my garbage disposal and did 3 loads of laundry. and I was supposed to go to training today, and I was like, in a message like, hey, yeah, I don't think anybody's showing up today, so don't worry about coming to training. I was like, bet. I got to get groceries too. That was something else.
Well, we said all that to say that, hey, we're still giving y'all a debate show. While you all let me hear Cliff and I vent about our frustrations and how sleep deprived we are still going to give you a debate show. We're still going to argue with each other over wrestling, for Christ's sake. So let's get started. Here are the announcements. If you have not already done so within the past 11 minutes now, we've been live. Go follow us on Twitter at 3count_pod, Instagram and TikTok. There you go. There we go. TikTok. TikTok at 3countpod. All right, like us on Facebook at the 3Count Podcast. For all of our, if you're watching us on Spotify now, you can watch our video on Spotify. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also for YouTube and Twitch, thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell button so you never miss an episode. All right, make sure you hit that bell button after you subscribe, because some people don't do that, and you might miss a dope interview that we have. And so, hit that bell button. And if you have not already done so, for all of our audio podcast listeners, if you're not subscribed, we're on your favorite podcast service. Okay, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. And for Apple Podcasts, make sure you give us that 5-star frog splash review. Off the top rope and everything, Eddie Guerrero style. So, buy a shirt. Okay. You see it up there in Cliff's background. You can see it right there. Boom. Get a 3Count Podcast t-shirt. Also, you can get a Red Dawg t-shirt. Okay. Just buy merch. Okay. Just buy it. All right. ProWrestlingTees.com/3CountPod. All righty. Cliff, what's coming up for Now Entering the Ring?
Yo, let's talk about the episodes that are coming out this week. So on June 14th, you guys got Gunner Brave is now into the ring. Black and Bold graduate. So I'm actually Black Brave. Black and Bold. Yeah, so Seth Rollins cool. He's one of the graduates. I'm super excited about him. He was definitely a lot of fun to have on the show. And then let's talk about what's happening June 16th. That's right. Chaz's favorite person will be entering the ring. That's right. Jay Bougie himself is going to be in the ring.
You're disrespectful. You are wild.
It just happened that this was coming out the same time that everything was happening with you. But yes, Jay Bougie's episode will be.
You have ruined my birthday. I want
to. You can just let Jay Bougie know the way the episode fell.
Hey, yo, that's wild. You can't switch it with any other of these interviews that we got coming out this week.
We just announced it on the show live. Yeah, that happened.
All right, so cool. Don't check out that interview on my birthday this Thursday.
At least listen to episode.
All right, because he lied on that episode anyway. I saw the clip. He went up there and lied, talking about why we have beef, and that's not true. But it's okay, because on the 22nd, I'm gonna beat the truth out of him. I'm gonna do just like how somebody did Scar. We're tell them the truth. Tell them while choking him, right outside of the ring, making sure I don't get a 5 count, so I don't get disqualified. All righty. So, those are announcements. All right, make sure you check out Now Into the Ring. Check out the Jay Bougie episode if you want. Me personally, my opinion, I wouldn't, but hey, to each their own. So, let's start off. Let's get right into this. No, we're not doing this or that. We changed it. So, Cody, right. Told y'all, we're not prepared for this show. Cody is out. He tore his pec. So, with Cody being out, is there enough baby faces on the roster to sustain them for the time being until Cody is back or someone else gets pushed. What do you think about that, Cliff? Start you off.
Okay, so we know that Riddle is obviously going to be like the first person that's going to be like up into the mark, right? They've already really been like pushing that whole thing along, especially because like next week on SmackDown, I think he's going to be wrestling Roman for the title, and then obviously Roman's not at Money in the Bank. They pulled him because because he doesn't sell stadiums. He sells out small arenas, which whatevs. That's still a thing. But I think the biggest thing that really kind of caught me off guard was the fact that once Cody like tore his pec, like I don't see really a lot of other people lined up. Like Shinsuke obviously is another person that they can put that whole thing because they got that storyline kind of lined up. Maybe Ricochet, I don't know. Edge, because now that he's out of Judgment Day, once that storyline gets kind of wrapped up, you might see him like at that Survivor Series kind of area. But yeah, overall, it's just kind of like you might have enough people to make you to the Royal Rumble. Full transparency, I know that WWE said that Cody was going to be out for the next 9 months. That's not true. That's not how chest injuries work, especially if you have surgery. It usually takes about 4 to 5 months to heal. So he should be back for the Rumble. Knock, knock. All those who are all like hyped up about the John Cena injury when they're like, he's going to be out for next year. And he came back in 3 months. Yet he doesn't have superhuman strength. It's just how science works, right? When you do PT and you work hard, you can come back in about 4 months. So that's a thing. But I think you have at least Riddle, you have at least Nakamura, and possibly Edge if you wanted to run that on that Survivor Series. I think that's about it. Like after that, like you have to hope Cody comes back because if not, they'll have to do like something for WrestleMania because that's probably when they'll want to do a Cody match. But it's really tough unless you really you're really trying to push like something even more like because obviously Seth's not turning like face anytime soon,
Right.
So I don't know, man. I just think that's and maybe Randy at some point, like you'll have Randy come back, but then he might start up a storyline with like Riddle because let's be real, like as much as we love RK Bros, that was never meant to be like a long running thing. Even at that, like the crowd got behind us so much, that's why WWE switched it so that they could get their big push for that RK Bros merchandise and merchandise money because that was never good. Let's be real. As much as I would talk about how much I loved it, that was never going to be a thing that's going to last forever.
No, never. Funny thing is this: I can only imagine later down the line when Orton does hang it up and he talks about this time, and I wouldn't be surprised if he said as far as merch money, that's probably the most he's ever made was during that RK Bro. Because they were number one in merch. And I wouldn't be shocked to hear him say that. But all right. We agree on I can agree with you on one of those names. Okay? And only one.
Okay.
And that's Riddle. I definitely seeing Riddle getting pushed, really, really looking like a star these past couple weeks. Riddle's definitely probably is, going to step up to the plate. But I think we have to also remember that there's still Drew. All right. Drew is still there. I mean, he's not your top guy as of right now, but Drew's been there before, and you can always count, Drew's a good hand. So I feel like, if they wanted to, swerve and use, no pun intended, to Drew and, say, all right, here's the Rocket, go do something with it until Cody get back or whatnot, I wouldn't be shocked to see Drew. But the one name that you forgot to mention, and, but you mentioned him, but not in this as a name to be talked about. But Cena's coming back. Cena's coming back.
Stop it.
Cena's coming back.
Stop. He's already going to lose a theory. Stop it.
But
I said what I said.
He can lose the theory, but guess what? Cena's coming back.
He's not coming back full time.
Coming back.
You need for at least one match. Okay, cool.
Look, it's Cena.
You put him at TLC. and pray he doesn't get injured.
Listen, nah. You don't know. He's not doing anything. I mean, he doesn't have anything scheduled except for Peacemaker season 2. And that's not filming till later in the year. We might have Cena for the summer.
Oh, great. Summer of Cena. Yay.
Listen, don't sit up here and lie and say that you don't miss John Cena.
I don't miss John Cena.
He's lying. You're lying on the Lord today.
I'm lying a few days before my best friend's birthday. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, wow. Wow.
No, man, I just listen, man. Anytime that there's like a problem, they're always like, bring in some part-timer. No, elevate me some fucking talent.
But his name is John Cena.
Yeah, cool. You know what? At one time, he was also gonna get cut because he wasn't that guy.
How long? Okay, that was what? Okay, that was so long. You can't.
No. Listen to my point. You have this opportunity right now to elevate these young talent to make them into stars, right? But we've chosen to go about and go get more part-timers, right? I look at people like John Cena, right? Who at first, he was that ruthless aggression dude, and then like smacked Kurt Angle, and then he became the Doctor of Thugonomics. Look at Dwayne Johnson. He was gonna get cut too, and then they stuck him with another good superstar, and he became the guy, right? He became The Rock, the Ringmaster, Stone Cold, right? Like you have this opportunity to like build up all these young talent, and you got guys like Riddle, right? Who are those part of that clan that's going to be growing, right? I just don't think you need to bring back John Cena. Like you don't need him. You have the talent right there. Like I know you want to sell more butts and seats. I get that. I 100% do. But in the same token, get these other dudes over. Like quit relying on past guys.
But okay, but who are honestly other people though? The other people, the talent that elevate, they're heels. They're heels. That's the thing. Everyone else are heels.
Well, I mean, you have someone like Edge, right? Who he's there full time. Let's be real, okay? He's kind of like teaching people how to become like either good faces or good heels, right? That's why I don't think you need Cena, because you already have that guy who who is a legend and leads people. Like, I know John Cena is a good hand, and I know that I just get tired of seeing people like Brock Lesnar, and I get tired of seeing people like see The Rock, see Justin. I get tired of seeing those guys come back and run because the return on investment gets less and less. Actually, this is a great person that should be also getting a major push. Bobby Lashley.
I can do that.
He's another dude that's like, yo, you have this monster of a face in him, even though, like, I'll be honest, his face work isn't as good as his heel work.
No, it's not.
You have this dude that's like, yo, get him, put him in the spot, he can help raise everybody else up too. I don't know, man. I'm just like, I shake my head at it because I'm like,
Vince McMahon doesn't like black people.
Well, okay. Bring me up some of these other dudes that you've been like training. Like let's be real.
I wanted to use when we were, when I was thinking about my names, I wanted to use some NXT guys, but I wasn't sure if we were, if that was the premise. But no, I agree. Definitely, bring up the other Uso.
Yeah.
But
someone's gonna go right to heel. Like if he joins, he's going right to the
I would see, but that's the thing. He can go right to heel, but you can also build him to be that baby face. Because he can you can do that whole thing. The whole how they did Orton in Evolution.
Yeah.
They could kick him out. Yeah.
They could. I don't know if anybody would be down with that. Like I don't think Roman would be down with that. Like nah, we're not bringing this whole thing up like that.
No, that's factual. But yeah, like Von Wagner.
I think when they turn Theory face, it's gonna be like one of the craziest things that we see.
Oh, Theory, yeah, and it's crazy. It's funny because I don't see it. I'm like, I don't see it. But yeah, hey, he might be the next John Cena.
John Cena light, like figuratively and literally, like because that dude is like chiseled out of marble, like John Cena was, and then he's just a smaller version of him.
Yeah.
But I want him, but I like Theory though, and I really want to see like him succeed in the company.
Like Theory too.
And it was funny because I remember
it's crazy because I remember when I hated Theory because he's living my life.
Yeah, this is true. I remember that.
he had that WrestleMania match, and I was just like, "What?"
When his debut too was on WrestleMania.
Yep, his debut was on WrestleMania. Yep. Wild, man. We were wild in the pandemic.
Right.
I had just seen a clip of when Roman threw Dominic out the ring in the Thunderdome. That was loud. I was like, oh my God, I remember that. I'm like, we were living in
somebody else that really should be getting like at this point in WWE, someone who should really be getting like a serious push. Let me get Montez Ford.
What do you do? Okay, so here's the thing. I get that, but what do you do with the street prop? What do you do with Dawkins? Because I look at it like this. I call it, we in wrestlers term, it's the Marty Jannetty, Shawn syndrome thing with tag team. It's like they're both good together, but clearly one is better than the other.
Right.
And one's just, if we're to break up, that's the star.
Yeah,
what do you do with Dawkins? Because here's the thing. What do you do with and there's no disrespect to Dawkins at all, but Dawkins, like Montez Ford could be Montez Ford without Dawkins. Yeah. But Dawkins can't be Dawkins without Montez Ford. That's just.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think?
Dawkins can cut. Like, if this would have been 4 years ago, by all means, I would agree with you 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. But Dawkins now is so much better than what he was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like, he's really, really grown. Especially his mic work has really grown. Now, does he have like the same kind of facials and like can like put out the same kind of emotion that Montez can? Not right now, but he's definitely like getting there because I find myself intrigued with what Dawkins has to say almost as much as what Ford has to say. So I don't know, man. Like, I think Dawkins is like right on the cusp of like something really great. And I think we're all going to look back and be like, damn, dude, this is an FTR situation. Like, this is the revival right here. Like, they are really good together. This is an Uso situation where like they both can hang by themselves or they both can hang on the mic. As a team, they're great. Individually, they're amazing as well. So,
Jay has definitely surpassed Jimmy. Jay has definitely. I
think in rework wise, man, I still see them.
Him and Roman, I think when they that feud and that building of when they were building the bloodline and right in the beginning, I was like, yeah, like Jay, that's all that stuff that he did. He's definitely, and he definitely surpassed Jimmy. I love, and I was like, and I used to like Jimmy more, but now, nah, Jay's that dude.
Okay.
Jay's that dude. That's somebody who can give a push, but no, he's well endowed in the bloodline. But all right, here we go. Let's start. This is the what you call it? Match of the week, right?
Match of the week.
Match of the week. I don't have a match of the week because I didn't watch really no wrestling this week.
I'll give it, man. So my match of the week, man, it's pretty easy because this had a lot of crazy parts to it, but give me Apollo Crews and Solo Sikoa versus Grayson Waller and Carmelo Hayes. Because that main event was fire. And we just talked about Solo Sikoa. And seeing Apollo back at NXT, it was like the right fit. I'm kind of glad. I'm upset that he got rid of like the whole, the Prince gimmick. I like the
I love it.
I did. I was really about it. But it's cool to see like the baby face, the white meat baby face back, and Carmelo Hayes, like bro, like that dude. That guy's.
I've been saying it for years. Like I just love. I love all the hype that he's been getting now since since joining NXT and then winning the belt and just the stuff he's been doing. I'm just like, bruh, this is nothing. Y'all just y'all low key late to the party.
I remember like all of us were like, man, Christian Casanova is gonna be that guy.
Bro,
If he gets to WWE, he's gonna be that guy. And then I'll see Carmelo Hayes like just rise. I'm like, yeah, we all kind of knew it, like just like watching him work, and now like everybody's seeing it.
Like everybody's seeing it, and like it's just like shout out to him, bro. Like legitimately, like shout out to him because like we legit, we were saying it like I'll never forget. I on this show on a Sunday, I sat there and professed that Christian Casanova is the best wrestler, like not signed.
Yeah,
like bruh. And then he got signed, and now look at him.
now he's on a whole nother level.
Whole nother level, and he can only. I mean, guess what? The thing is this: he can only get better. So I'm just like, I'm pumped to see, just to watch his career. But yeah, I ain't got no match of the week. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, listen, like I said, it's been a busy week. I've been tired. All right, moving on over to the other side of things. Let's talk about AEW. So, a lot of injuries and major injuries in wrestling on both sides, with Cody on the WWE side and then CM Punk being injured. What actually was Punk's injury?
So he has an ankle injury.
Was his ankle?
Yeah. So here's the funny thing. Like, so for some people who don't know, like I'm always on TikTok, right? And Britt Waters, actually shout outs to the homie. She put up a question. She was asking about Punk's injury, and I was like, and I did a stitch, and I was like, listen, nobody told that man to jump in the crowd with an AEW title on, and he just smacked his knee and his ankle off the guardrail, and like now he has to have surgery because of it. And I was like,
oh, that's what happened. It wasn't in the mat.
No,
dummy.
If you go go back, right, and fans will go back now. Watch him jump into the crowd, right, and he lands. And then he goes back up to the top of the ramp and he waits for FTR. And as they come down, you see him like start looking at his ankle and just start moving it around and just like really like testing it. And it's like, yeah, that it was clear. Like you watched him jump in and just like smack his shit off the fucking rail. And I was like, come on, dude.
Hey, he's enjoying
hyped.
He was hyped, way too hyped. Oh, I didn't know that was what happened. Okay, wow. But all right, so with CM Punk being injured and Forbidden Door coming up, how can AEW deliver on this once in a lifetime event? What you got for me, Cliff?
I don't think I do anything. I'll be honest. Like Punk was a spoke in his wheel for an awesome card that was already gonna be built, and there's so like AEW. Like I don't say AEW is deep, right? They are deep in talent, but God, there's so many dream matchups that you could have. You could actually take Punk out of that whole entire equation, plug somebody else in, and you're gonna get all the same fire matches, right? It's whether it's Okada and Hangman or Adam Cole and Okada, or you get Tanahashi and Moxley. Like it's a who's list, man. Like there's no reason to be like, oh man, just one matchup we could have had. I mean, for crying out loud, I've been saying this every week now for the last 2 weeks, and it happened last night at Dominion. Yo, Zack Sabre Jr. legitimately goes, I want Bryan Danielson. I was like, we all want this. So like I said, there's so much hype into this card already. There's so much like building on it. Will Ospreay showing up on Dynamite and on Rampage, like, dude, like, there's no way that you can tell me like, you know what, CM Punk would have made this card even better. Like, dude, this card is already at an A+, and we don't even have matchups. Like, we're all just dream booking this right now. We're just seeing all the beauty like get put into place. So, listen, man, with CM Punk, this was gonna be a fire card. Without CM Punk, this is gonna be a fire card. So, all I can say is that Punk, Godspeed, get well. But, this card is still gonna be lit without him.
Nah, fact. Listen, Punk is, Punk. You won't get that hometown feel with them being in Chicago. Punk not there. I think that's the only blow. It's just you don't get to hear that Chicago crowd chanting CM Punk, even though they're going to chant CM Punk regardless. We know how Chicago gets.
Facts.
So, and like the funny thing is this, there's so many dream matches, like, and the funny thing about Forbidden Door is that everything is being really tight kept. Like I think the one rumored match with Hangman Page and Okada got debunked by Meltzer, even though he debunked his own self because he was the one that put it out there. But just the thought of Okada, Hangman, and, Zack Sabre Jr., Bryan Danielson, we got Mox and Tanahashi. Like, Punk not being there doesn't really affect the card on the show at all. That show is still going to get 8 stars out of 5 on the Meltzer rating. It's like, I mean, the only reason it doesn't get 10 stars is because it's not at the Tokyo Dome. Like, come on. This show is fine. Forbidden Door is fine. Everyone needs to calm down. Like, legitimately calm down. Nothing's wrong with Punk not being there. It's going to be a fire show. Like, relax. They don't do anything. Just keep what they're doing. They have their backup plan, with Mox and Tanahashi, and they're gonna, it's business as usual. Nothing, no harm, no foul.
There's all sorts of greatness that's gonna already be attached to this card. Like, and even if they were like, well, who else are we gonna have in there? I'm like, bro, look at all around, right? You could always run back Suzuki and Samoa Joe if you wanted to. Not that you need to, but you could, right? But
Ospreay's in the fold now. Things so Ospreay versus what? Ray Phoenix? No, well, that's probably gonna be the what you call it.
I would be honest.
That'd be tough to see Ospreay and Phoenix. That'd be just to see them. Ospreay and Dante.
Yeah, I was like, can I get a?
There it is.
Can I get a? I don't want that on. I don't want that on that card. Can I get Ospreay and Dante on Dynamite? Like, put it on free TV. Because think about how much fire that's gonna be. Like, everybody paying attention to that match. Like, and you didn't got to put it at the main event. You put it right at the beginning.
No, yeah, you put that at the beginning. You once we Gary one of them JR. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. There's Dante's music there. You just start there. We got a big fire match for you. Yeah, Dante, just start off like that. Yeah. I mean, you could give me that on Dynamite. That's true.
I was like, that would be so much fire, just right off the jump. Like, there's like I said, man. Right?
We do this every week. Every time we talk about Forbidden Door, we just start fantasy booking.
Yeah.
I wish we could not talk about Forbidden Door until next week, until it's over.
Yeah, there's so many good matches that you're gonna have out there, man. I'm like, there's no way that the limit of, and the funny thing is we talk about Okada, we talk about Tanahashi, we ain't even talk about Jay White. Like, that's another dude. I'm sorry, the guy who just won the championship, that dude. Like, I was like, come on, man. Like, the matchups are just electric out there, and I'm like, there's no reason. We keep fantasy booking, but we keep upping the card every single time, right? Like, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talk about Ray Phoenix, and we talk about like Hangman. We've talked about Cole. We've talked about the Bucks, right? We never even brought up Penta. Like, all right. Can I get some? Let me get Will Ospreay and Pac. How about that? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, these are great matchups that we're like, we legit come back and we fantasy book these crazy matches, and we're like, dude, what about that? Oh my god, could you imagine that matchup? Like, so I was like, it's on another level. This card is on another level of like,
it's just you never anything can happen. Anything. All right, temp check. All right, for those who don't know what temp check is, we give you our hottest and or coldest wrestler going into this week. Let's start off with hottest wrestler going into this week. Cliff, who you got? Hottest wrestler, temp check.
You know what? My hottest wrestler of the week going in, I would have to say, I don't have one, right? And I know people can be like, well, Roman, right? Nah, I'm going to go with FTR. Because those guys, like, have been holding it down. And their match with Will Ospreay and Ozzy Open was just so good. And I was like, bro, this is a lot of fun to watch. And I genuinely was like enjoying them. So I think I'm going to have to go it to me it's like a toss up because it's like they're really good, but then like Riddle had like a really great matchup too this last week, and obviously winning. So I'm like,
Right.
it's tough for me not to. I want to go FTR, but I also have Riddle on my mind as well.
Yeah, so I would have said Riddle, but I'm gonna go with a dark horse that's gonna throw people left field. Coming out of left field. I'm going with Paige. I'm going with Paige. For those who don't know, Paige, she put out a message that she's leaving WWE July 1st, correct? I think it was
July 7th.
July 7th. I knew it was the beginning of July. But July 7th, she is leaving WWE. She also stated that she will, be returning to the ring. Pretty much long story short. But I'm just happy for Paige. Like she gets to go back to doing what she loves. And, in the way that modern medicine works, like Edge is out here, going full-time schedule. And he should have been paralyzed and Kurt as well. And I think, she'll find if she has not already. I'm not, I don't know for sure, but yeah, if she can wrestle, let her wrestle. If it's safe for her to wrestle, if there are doctor specialists that are saying like, hey, you can wrestle, let him wrestle. Bryan Danielson, another one. Like, so yeah, I'm excited for her. We know where she's ending up. I mean, I could see her. I don't know if I can see her running the Indies. I don't know if I can see her running the Indies. That'd be dope, though.
I have heard rumors.
You've heard rumors?
I put it that way. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
We won't let anybody else know. We'll talk about it after the show. Tough breaks.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, so with that being said, yeah, that's my hottest wrestler going of the week. Now, moving on to coldest wrestler of the week. All right, who you got, Cliff? Who's your coldest wrestler?
Man, I was sitting there thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, I feel like there's somebody missing on a lot of shows, right? I want to talk about one in particular, though. Can someone tell me where Shelton Benjamin is?
He's hurt.
Right.
He's hurt.
Yep. Shelton's hurt?
Yeah, he's hurt.
Yeah,
he's hurt.
So we'll give him that. But also, I think Shotzi, really, I know she got her title shot, but they just really brought her in to job out. And I'm like, nah. Yeah, I don't say job out. That's not fair. They brought her in just to lose, right? And I'm not with it. And Xia Li, like, really? Like, those are my two coldest wrestlers right there.
All right. My coldest wrestler of the week. He's my coldest wrestler of the week. That's true. That's also very true. You can. He's my coldest wrestlers for the past couple months. And Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears is still my coldest wrestler. You go from 10 to this. Ty Dillinger was over. Shawn Spears is bullshit. You know that trend on TikTok, like, this is a work of art. This is bullshit.
This is bullshit.
yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna make that TikTok, like, with from WWE and then AEW, like, this is a work of art. This is bullshit.
I can't wait to see all the backlash you get for that one.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to do it. I can't wait because I don't care. All right. Time for this or that, Cliff.
Yo, let's talk about it. This or that. So we're getting into factions. We've done women's, right? We've done tag. We've done men, right? So we gotta get into factions. Okay. So what is our faction for this this run of this or that? We have DX and we have the Shield.
Oh, wow. Yikes. Okay. Wow. That you really tugging. Oof. Yikes. Okay. It's just like you say I go DX and I think, all right, that's the easy choice to go DX. I mean, but then if I say, if it wasn't for the Shield, do we get the Tribal Chief? Do we get, Seth freaking Rollins? Do we get John Moxley if it's not for the Shield? And then all right, if I pick the Shield, I just erase half of the Attitude Era. Half the success of the Attitude Era goes bye-bye. So you have done it. All right, you go first as always, so I can still think because I don't.
You go first as always.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be honest. To me, if I'm picking between DX and Shield, right? I'm taking Shield.
I knew you would say that. I knew you would pick them.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not even the fact that we can talk about just the factions themselves, not where they've gone since then, right? Because we can talk about all the cool stuff they've done. But I feel like these were three guys at the point where they're at their peakness. That even when they did the reunion, man, all three of them were Grand Slam champions, in heartbeat,
Yeah.
So it's how do you not, right? I mean, Roman right now is on another level, right? Obviously, right? The God.
He's on God mode, bro.
But then obviously Rollins is doing his thing, Mox is doing his thing, right? But even when they're all three together, man, they were just powerhouses. They're all tearing it up. So it's hard for me to say nah, because once you saw those three coming together, that was just the faction that started off, right? Going back to DX, right? It doesn't really matter what iteration that you're looking at, right? Whether it was Shawn and Hunter, which both those Grand Slams, right there themselves, both of them Hall of Famers, right? Mm-hmm. And to be fair, DX is also Hall of Famers. So I'm not gonna take that. All the best of guys, right? But once X-Pac left, once he left DX, he just kind of floundered, man. Sure, he had X Factor. He was a tag champion with Kane at one point in time, right? There's a bunch of stuff that happened, but he just kind of floundered. New Age Outlaws were always going to be New Age Outlaws. They were great before. Then they joined DX, took them on another level. They kind of maintained. Billy really didn't do well afterwards. He kind of floundered himself too.
No, Billy and Chuck was a great team.
Whose name was it?
Billy and Chuck.
It doesn't matter what his name is, right? Bob. But I mean, he tried to make his own run, right? They wanted to push him as a single star, and he just kind of floundered. But I do agree, Billy and Chuck were definitely a lot of fun to watch. Then Road Dogg really didn't do a whole lot either. You know what I mean? So they all kind of left.
He came with Ron Killings.
Listen, I said,
TNA.
They like I said, just kind of fell off. So I'm really gonna have to go back to looking at Roman was able to be, and even though he got booed all the time, right? The man did main event 4 WrestleManias, 5 WrestleManias. Yeah, looking at Seth, he had one of the greatest cash-ins of all time outside of Money in the Bank, right? Look at someone like Dean Ambrose, right? He had all these great matchups, and we can talk about his interview that he did on Austin, Broken Skull, or you can talk about his match that he had with Brock Lesnar. But he also, I would say, had one of the greatest cash-ins of all time as well with the Money in the Bank. So yeah,
we were just talking about that too. We were just talking about that.
But I just think there you go. There's that's why I think when I look at those guys, I'm looking at those matchups. I'm like, man, and maybe part of it could be recency bias because I grew up with DX, but then watching the show, I was like, damn, these guys are just being elevated to a whole new platform, and those are real stars that are just being taken up, right? While John Cena was doing his thing, here's these 3 younger guys that came in and then just grabbed the bull by the horns and just took off and ran. So yeah. I don't know, man. That's why I think. That's why I'm looking at the Shield. I'm like, I would take the Shield over DX.
Yeah, I'm going with the Shield. I look at pro wrestling today. I agree with that as far as X-Pac. Yeah. I was also, when you mentioned that he floundered, I'm like, yeah, he was also NWO. But I'm gonna go definitely with the Shield because I look at pro wrestling now today, and if you look at it, if you can debate if you're not putting the Shield in the top 10, best in the world right now, then you're kidding yourself. And you can argue whether or not the placement you put them in, but you're not talking about the world of professional wrestling without talking about Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, John Moxley, Dean Ambrose. Flat. The Shield came at a time when factions weren't a thing anymore, especially not trio groups. I think the only one at the time was New Day. Yeah. Or if not, New Day was right after, if not just before. And the way they came up was, they were the first, the first official call ups from the NXT system. So I think there's a lot of, first with the Shield and, the streak they had when they first debuted, they hadn't lost in a year. Ambrose as U.S. champion. You're right. They did a lot individually and also collectively as a unit. But yeah, it's like without the Shield, I don't know where pro wrestling is today.
Right.
Really, because like you said, Cena was doing his thing. Guess what? Cena's gone. For the most part. Who are the flag bearers for the WWE? You can name Drew, you can name Randy, but it's Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and then at the time, Dean Ambrose. Yep. But who's the flag bearer for AEW? John Moxley.
That's a picture too. That people are like, well, how's John Moxley going to do? Well, how's Dean Ambrose going to do outside of WWE? And we saw John show up and win the IWGP US Heavyweight title, and held it. And then he became the second AEW champion, and rocked the title for a long time. And now you see him as the number one contender for the AEW interim heavyweight title, and you're like, yeah, well, that was a fit position for him anyway, right? And he's just. And the cool thing too, and I think about this, I'll be real. Hunter's comeback when he tore his quads was amazing, right? Mm-hmm. Sean's comeback, came back and put on fire matches afterwards too. But he's looking at Dean or John and his comeback story of going to rehab and coming back. You look at Roman Reigns' cancer, right? And he came, he's back. You look at Seth. Seth blew his knee apart.
At a house show. And he came back. And these guys had at the top, remember, he was still champ. He was like, yeah, this is right when he cashed. And this is when we were getting that, Rollins as champ. Yeah.
It was doing the buckle bomb with
on Kane's big ass.
Flip. Yeah, he was doing the flip. Yeah, and really hurt his knee. And these guys came off these crazy stories, comeback stories. They had these crazy comeback stories that were amazing, and you're like, man, that to and I don't want to say compare those kind of stories to each other, but it's these three dudes had these significant things happen in their life, and they came back and they're just better than ever. And it's how do you compare outside stories as well as their inside stories to Hunter and Sean, right? Sean left the business because he said he lost his smile. I don't remember John left because he was I'm betting on myself that I'm gonna be a bigger star outside and I will be in here, and he's proven that. Sean came back and he got back from his back injury and just murdered it, right? We saw the way he handled everything from when he got back to the WrestleMania 26. He was putting on fire matches, but it's at the same time we're looking back at Seth Rollins, who destroyed his knee, and legitimately remember he was what was it, rebuild, or it was redesign, rebuild, reclaim, and he did that, and then you saw after being away for almost a year, you see Roman come back, and he was just bro, I'm back from camp. And then he was beating down the Fiend. He's you're only a monster because I allow you to be a monster, and it was just we're what's going on with him? They put the title on him, and he just That's it. That's all it took. So yeah, that's why I was like, I'm gonna have to take the Shield over DX. But we want to know, what do you guys think? We want you guys to put it in the comments down below, or even just like tweet it at us. Make sure you use our hashtag too, hashtag 3CountPod, and let us know what you guys think.
Also, hashtag this or that.
Hashtag this or that.
Hashtag this or that. So we can definitely see it. All right. It's time for the Red Dogs Power Rankings. Wait, no, you put Jay Bougie's interview on my birthday. You don't get a theme song. 2 weeks in a row.
Bet. You know what? I'm all right with that. Because whatever, man. You're the one that that tweets at him like early in the morning. He's like, "Good morning." You're like, "Fuck you, Jay Bougie." I'm clipping out like 2 of these. I'm just sending it right over to him too. All right. Let's talk about this, right? So let's get into number 10. Number 10 is going to be Eddie Kingston versus Jake Hager at Rampage. I just thought this was a lot of fun. Just two dudes. I love the fact that it was Rampage. It was like, it's Friday night. You know what that means? Ding, ding, ding. Bam. They started going. I was like, oh, my God. It's so great. Let's get into number 9. This has to be a match. And this match is low. But when you hear all the other matches, you will understand why it's low. But it's Pac versus Buddy
what?
Matthews. Yeah.
That's the only match I've seen this week.
Yeah. So Pac versus Buddy Matthews is number 9 from Dynamite. We're going to go into number 8. This is the Street Profits versus the Usos on Raw. Let's be real, man. Anytime you put these two teams together, they're just going to put on fire matches, and there's no exception. Number 7. I like this match a lot. I don't know how other people are feeling. And this is like one of the few matches I can actually say I really enjoyed. But Hangman Page versus David Finlay on Dynamite. Like, just a heavy-hitting match, and I loved it. Let's talk about number 6, because this is a newer promotion that really got put on my radar, and then I started paying attention. But their opening match was probably one of the best opening matches I've seen this week, right? And then I would like to think that I'm a pretty good connoisseur of wrestling, and I like to just watch a lot. But we're talking about Wrestling Revolver's Stranger Things, and this would have been Rich Swann versus Jordan Oliver.
Mm-hmm. I heard.
Yeah,
I heard.
It lived up.
Okay, so you've seen it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard very, very positive things.
Yeah, it was definitely. I was like, wow. Let's talk
Shout
about
out to Jordan Oliver.
Yes,
That's the homie.
Let's talk about the bench press benchmark, right? This is number 5. So we're talking about Joe Doring versus Josh Alexander at Impact, because it's just two good storytellers in the ring working, and I loved it. We're going to number 4, which we just mentioned this match before, right? Riddle versus Sami Zayn on SmackDown. What can we say, man? Like, just two guys just in a ring and just doing amazing work. Let's talk about number 3, because this was another match that I didn't know I wanted to see, and then when I got to see it, it was better than the first time I saw it, right? This would have been Trey Miguel versus Alex Shelley at Wrestling Evolver Stranger Things as well. They didn't know I needed to really see this match run back, even though I saw the first one on Impact, but this was so good. I was like, I can't stop shaking it. Let's get into number 2. It is FTR and Trent versus Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. Because why not?
Why not?
It's Will Ospreay. But let's talk about number 1. I feel that this is the top match, and not because of the circumstances going into it. I talk a lot of shit about this man because deservingly, he deserves it. But it is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell. And let's be real. This man torn pec, and this man just went out there and handled business. Like, even as a hater, I have to give all the props, because I'm like, this man did a fantastic job, and even though there was like a lot of smoke and mirrors in the match, because obviously limitations, this man went out there and performed and put it down. And Seth Rollins is just an amazing person. Again, goes back to the Shield debate.
Yeah.
He's just the perfect person that you want to put. Like, if you want to put somebody with like a great hand, that's the person you put him with, right? Seth, because he can carry it, and he can also he can either carry a match or he can just like put the match on he'll carry the whole entire match on his shoulders. And if he has someone that he can even do it, they both elevate the whole entire show. So yes, I have to give a lot of props to Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with your picks. So yeah.
How crazy like I said, how crazy is that Pac and Buddy are number 9? And we're like, yo, like,
yeah.
At the beginning of the week, we all talked about, like, after Hell in a Cell, we're like, man, that's the matchup to watch because we know that they're going to tear the house down.
Yeah.
And then there's just so much other good wrestling that comes on.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
No, facts. Well, that's the show, folks. Wow, that's all, folks. We need to get something like that. That's what we need to do. Get a graphic of us. That's all, folks. Once we finish everything, like a little ending. Yeah. We'll talk to Derek. We'll talk to Derek. But yeah, for those of you who love PlayStation, you guys get a trophy. And my Xbox users, you get an achievement for making it to the end of the show because it's always a hassle, especially after our 10-minute rant before we even got started. Didn't even get the announcements off, and we were already just
already out.
Already. So if you have not already done so, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you're on Twitch, make sure you subscribe. Also, like us on Facebook if you're watching us live on Facebook Live. And for all of our audio podcast listeners, make sure you hit that subscribe button to whatever podcast platform you're listening to, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, podcast.com, wherever podcasts are, wherever you're listening from, just hit that button so you can always know when we got an episode coming out. Apple Podcast users, all my Apple guys, everybody who's all following the Supreme Leader, make sure you hit that 5-star frog splash review and leave us a review. Tell us what you think. Be nice. I mean, be mean. It doesn't really matter to us because you can't hurt our feelings. We're pro wrestlers. Like, you can't really hurt our feelings of what you say on the internet. Subscribe. What else? Oh, follow us and all the social media things right there. You see them on the bottom. Yep. Make sure you hit that follow button and talk to us, chat with us, buy a shirt. And make sure you're there for the next episode. Tune in and Now Into the Ring coming out this week. Fuck Jay Bougie. Don't listen to his shit. Like, I hope it only gets 1 view. And I can't wait until the 22nd of July so that me and my homies can smack you and your homies all around the Hamburg Fieldhouse. Like, I think I might smack him with a coconut, like Roddy Piper did in the building that he did it in, just because. Like, just take a coconut and smack it across his big old chrome dome.
Damn.
He had the nerve to take a picture with Johnny Wrestling and Candice LeRae. Like him and half of that picture was cool. Then I remember that Johnny Takeover and his group's name is Takeover, and I was like, you know what? Now we gotta throw Johnny away. So only 1/4 of the picture was fine.
Yo, I saw that tweet.
I was upset. Shout out to Rico Hendricks, the homie there, for bringing that up and ruining Johnny Wrestling for me. Because we already know I don't like Candice LeRae.
Listen, speaking of ruining things, we're ruining the way this episode ends. Guys, tune in to us next week. We'll be back. Tune in to all of our shows coming up. Also, leave us a hashtag 3CountPod. Also, hashtag this and that if you guys want to join in the conversation. But much love. Thank you guys for everything. And we'll catch you guys later.
I hate Jay Bougie. And Takeover. And PJ.